Our cooperation also has a human dimension in Slovakia because we lack a number of employees. So we have people from India working in Slovakia. For this reason, I welcome the agreement between respective ministries when it comes to ensure social security and social protection for these employees. There are more than 600 students from India in Slovakia. Our relationships are developing when it comes to the culture. So we care about these topics, about these things, because since we have no political obstacles, we have common opinions of various issues, and at the same time it's important to focus on mutually beneficial cooperation. Our mutual trade is increasing. It's actually 5 times higher compared to the situation from a few years ago, but there's still more options, more possibilities for Slovak economy and obviously the huge potential of your country. Distinguished Prime Minister, from my heart, I thank you not only on behalf of Slovak delegation, but I thank you on behalf of the whole Slovak Republic, that with the demanding agenda which you have as the Prime Minister of a country which 1.5 billion citizens, thank you for coming to Slovakia and honoring a small country like Slovakia with your visit. We're a proud country, we're a sovereign country, and in spite of the fact that we're a...
So this is the live address. Let's also take this across to Senior Consulting Editor Srinjoy Chaudhary on the broadcast with us. This is a big boost to the bilateral ties, Srinjoy, and of course, this is also a very important visit of the Prime Minister, new chapter in the ties. Tell us why this is a historic visit by the Prime Minister and the key takeaways from this bilateral meeting.
Since the Velvet Divorce, when Slovakia became a separate country and separated from the Czech Republic, India has never sent a Prime Minister, and Slovakia became an independent country in the early 90s. So this is a first visit. Which country has Prime Minister Modi?
Dobry दिन। हमारे आत्मीयता भरे स्वागत के लिए मैं प्राइम मिनिस्टर फिट्सो का हार्दिक आभार व्यक्त करता हूं। वे अनुभवी लीडर होने के साथ साथ भारत के सच्चे मित्र हैं। भारत स्लोवाकिया संबंधों को नई ऊंचाई तक पहुंचाने में उनकी मित्रता और अटूट प्रतिबद्धता का विशेष महत्व रहा है। मुझे खुशी है कि आज उनसे मिलकर मुझे हमारे संबंधों में एक ऐतिहासिक पल के साक्षी बनने का सुअवसर मिला। मेरी ये यात्रा किसी भी भारतीय प्रधानमंत्री की स्लोवाकिया की पहली यात्रा है। मुझे खुशी है कि इस ऐतिहासिक अवसर पर हमने अपने संबंधों को कॉम्प्रिहेंसिव पार्टनरशिप का दर्जा देने का निर्णय लिया है। यह हमारे साझा विश्वास, साझा प्राथमिकताओं और साझा भविष्य का प्रतीक है। फ्रेंड्स, आज प्रधानमंत्री जी और मैंने हमारे सहयोग को नई दिशा और नई ऊर्जा देने पर विस्तृत रूप से चर्चा की। हमारे द्विपक्षीय व्यापार और आर्थिक सहयोग में हो रही प्रगति हमारे लिए संतोष का विषय है, लेकिन हमारी क्षमताएं विशाल है, हमारी आकांक्षाएं उससे भी बड़ी हैं। ऑटोमोबाइल, रेलवे, एडवांस मैन्युफैक्चरिंग और ग्रीन टेक्नोलॉजीज हमारे लिए विशेष रुचि के क्षेत्र हैं। इन सभी विषयों में आज हमने अपनी ताकतों को जोड़कर दोनों देशों के लोगों की भलाई के लिए कई महत्वपूर्ण निर्णय लिए। इंडिया EU FTA को अंतिम रूप देने में स्लोवाकिया से मिले सहयोग के लिए मैं प्रधानमंत्री जी का विशेष आभार व्यक्त करता हूं। हम इसके जल्द से जल्द इम्प्लीमेंटेशन के लिए काम करेंगे ताकि दोनों देशों के उद्योग, स्टार्टअप्स और ट्रेडर्स इसका अधिकतम लाभ उठा सके। फ्रेंड, टेक्नोलॉजी हमारी भावी साझेदारी का महत्वपूर्ण स्तंभ है। डिजिटल टेक्नोलॉजी पर आज किए गए MoU इसे डिजिटल पब्लिक इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर में सहयोग की नई संभावनाएं बनेगी। मुझे खुशी है कि स्लोवाकिया की एक यूनिवर्सिटी में AI के विषय पर इंडिया चेयर स्थापित की जा रही है। AI मानवता की सेवा और प्रगति का सशक्त माध्यम बने, यही हमारी साचा सोच है। हमारा मानना है कि AI का भविष्य केवल इनोवेशन से नहीं बल्कि ट्रस्ट, रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी और ह्यूमन डिग्निटी पर आधारित होना चाहिए। हमारे बीच स्पेस के क्षेत्र में सहयोग बढ़ाने का बहुत बड़ा पोटेंशियल है। 2017 में स्लोवाकिया की पहली सैटेलाइट भारत द्वारा लॉन्च की गई थी। आज भारत में स्पेस सेक्टर अभूतपूर्व गति से नई ऊंचाइयां छू रहा है। मैं स्लोवाकिया की कंपनियों को इस विकास यात्रा में शामिल होने के लिए आमंत्रित करता हूं। सिविल न्यूक्लियर एनर्जी भी दोनों देशों के लिए मुख्य प्राथमिकता का क्षेत्र है। हमने इस क्षेत्र में दोनों देशों की इंडस्ट्रीज और एक्सपर्ट्स के बीच सहयोग बढ़ाने पर बल दिया। रक्षा सहयोग हमारे गहरे आपसी विश्वास और स्ट्रेटेजिक कन्वर्जेंस का प्रमाण है। मुझे खुशी है कि इस महत्वपूर्ण क्षेत्र में आज हमने लेटर ऑफ इंटेंट साइन किया। इससे ज्वाइंट डेवलपमेंट, ज्वाइंट प्रोडक्शन और डिफेंस इंडस्ट्रीज के बीच सहयोग को नई गति मिलेगी। फ्रेंड, वैश्विक मंच पर भी भारत और स्लोवाकिया करीब ही सामंजस्य से आगे बढ़ रहे हैं। हम सहमत हैं कि सभी विवादों और तनावों का समाधान शांतिपूर्ण तरीके से किया जाना चाहिए। हम सभी पार्टनर्स के साथ मिलकर इस दिशा में आगे बढ़ते रहेंगे। हम इस बात पर भी सहमत हैं कि वैश्विक संस्थानों को 21वीं सदी की वास्तविकताओं और चुनौतियों के अनुरूप खुद को रीडिफाइन करना होगा। इस विषय पर हम वैश्विक प्रयासों को सशक्त बनाने की दिशा में काम करेंगे। फ्रेंड, दोनों देशों के बीच गहरे सांस्कृतिक और पीपल टू पीपल टाइज हमारे संबंधों को मजबूत आधार प्रदान करते हैं। भारत के प्राचीन उपनिषदों का स्लोवाक भाषा में अनुवाद किया जाना हमारी सांस्कृतिक निकटता का उत्कृष्ट उदाहरण है। स्लोवाकिया में रह रहे भारतीय मूल के लोग यहां की इकोनॉमी और सोसाइटी में महत्वपूर्ण योगदान दे रहे हैं। दोनों देशों के बीच प्रोफेशनल्स और स्किल्ड वर्कर्स की मोबिलिटी बढ़ाने के लिए आज हमने लेबर माइग्रेशन पर MoU की घोषणा की है। हम शीघ्र ही सोशल सिक्योरिटी पर MoU को भी अंतिम स्वरूप देंगे। एक्सेलेंसी, आज की अत्यंत सार्थक चर्चा और भारत के लिए आपकी सकारात्मक सोच के लिए मैं एक बार फिर आपका हृदय से आभार व्यक्त करता हूं। मैं 140 करोड़ भारतीयों की तरफ से आपको भारत आने का निमंत्रण देता हूं और मुझे खुशी है कि आपने सार्वजनिक रूप से भी इस निमंत्रण का स्वीकार किया है। हम आपका स्वागत करने के लिए बहुत ही उत्सुक हैं। मुझे विश्वास है कि हमारी कॉम्प्रिहेंसिव पार्टनरशिप आने वाले वर्षों में नए अवसरों, साझा समृद्धि और हमारे लोगों के उज्जवल भविष्य का आधार बनेगी। बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद। नमस्कार।
So the Prime Minister, just concluding his address, the Prime Minister arrived in Slovakia for the second leg of his three-nation European tour. This is the first visit by an Indian Prime Minister to the country since it gained independence in 1993. And the Prime Minister also invited Slovakia to invest in India, going on to say that there is a huge potential for space research in the country, saying that India had launched Slovakia's first launch as well, going on to say that it is time for the two countries to expand their partnership. In fact, during this two-day visit, the Prime Minister is holding the bilateral talks, and he will also be engaging with leading Slovak business executives to explore opportunities for expanding economic cooperation between the two countries. Let's go back to Srinjoy on the broadcast with us. Srinjoy, my apologies. We had to cut across to the live briefing of the Prime Minister. Go ahead.
Space, as you rightly said, is a very important area because Prime Minister underlined that, said that, look, India launched the first Slovak satellite. That apart, trade is obviously a very important area. The FTA is coming up, and Slovakia and India can work together very closely. Defense too, because India and Slovakia can work by designing, developing and manufacturing military equipment. Also, terrorism was highlighted by the Prime Minister, making it clear, terrorism and conflict, making it clear that this could well have been a reference to all the fighting going on in the world, that all disputes can be settled peacefully.
Okay, all right. Srinjoy, do stay with us. Let's also talk about what's expected. If this was the second leg of the Prime Minister's visit, there is a lot of attention that's also going to be in the G7. Thank you for joining us with those details. Let's also talk about what's expected as the world's leading democracies gather for the G7 summit. The leaders preparing to discuss some of the most pressing global challenges, from conflicts in the Middle East and Ukraine to trade tensions, artificial intelligence, economic security and energy concerns. The summit is expected to shape the international agenda in the days ahead. Prime Minister Modi is all set to attend the summit. Let's also remember that this summit is coming on the sidelines of the US-Iran deal breakthrough. And let's also get you a ground perspective. Take a look at this report filed by Managing Editor Zaka Jacob.
After 108 days, the war between Iran and America finally seems to be over. Donald Trump has announced this on Truth Social, that finally the war is over and the Strait of Hormuz will remain open. Of course, the 14-point agreement has to be passed for its details. It seems to be heavily favored in Iran's direction, primarily because there are no commitments from Iran's side as far as the nuclear question is concerned. The only clause that says that Iran will not develop a nuclear weapon as per its NPT commitments. It does not mention anything about stopping further enrichment. It does not mention anything about handing over the nuclear fissile material, about 400 kilograms of that fissile material, either to America or to the IAEA. It does not mention anything about further IAEA inspections or the dismantling of the nuclear infrastructure on the Strait of Hormuz, which was the most important concern for the entire world, including for India, because oil prices had gone up. Indian ships were getting attacked. There are about 13 Indian ships that are still stuck there in the Strait of Hormuz. Just in this past week, we've seen the 3 Indian sailors who died because of American naval action against them. It had led to a bit of a bad blood between Washington and Delhi. All of those concerns will get addressed. Prime Minister Modi will arrive here in Evian on Tuesday, and on Wednesday afternoon, he will meet with President Donald Trump of the United States, where some of these issues will come up for their discussion. This will be the first meeting between President Trump and Prime Minister Modi since February 2025, when Prime Minister Modi went to the White House. Thereafter, there have been some very big bumps in the relationship between India and the United States, whether it's on the tariff issue, whether it's on the interim trade agreement. We still haven't arrived at an interim trade agreement. What will be the tariff percentage? Will it be 18%? Will it be 10%? Will any of this have legal bearing? Because the U.S. Supreme Court has struck down the rationale, the legal rationale by which the Trump administration was tariffing countries. And of course, like I said, the most recent issue of the sailors, the Indian sailors being killed. All of this will be discussed when the two leaders meet. It's going to be a power-packed week of diplomacy and action here in Evian on the foothills of the French Alps. We're here in the northern French Alps, the foothills of the French Alps at Evian, where the world leaders of the G7 countries, the world's most powerful countries, will be aligning for the next 3 or 4 days. U.S. President Donald Trump will be here. Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi will be here. And just ahead of the G7 meeting, there's been a big announcement that Trump has put out on Truth Social that the war in Iran is now finally entering a degree of completion. There's a peace agreement that is likely to be signed between Iran and America this Friday in Geneva in Switzerland. This war has gone on for 108 days. Obviously, the Strait of Hormuz, which had been a choke point, will now be opened. And more importantly, on the nuclear question, Iran has simply given an assurance that it will stick to its NPT commitments and that it will not pursue a nuclear weapon. But it has not made any further commitments on stopping nuclear enrichment. It has not said anything about returning the fissile material, the nuclear fissile material that is a sticking point in this entire negotiation. The big question mark is, what will Israel do? We've already seen sort of hawkish and far-right voices from within Netanyahu's government, the likes of Itamar Ben-Gvir and Bezalel Smotrich, saying that they will not honor this deal. But the question really is, how far can Netanyahu go in angering Donald Trump? Will he cross Donald Trump's wrath? I think that's the critical question mark. It's also important to note that there are Israeli domestic elections that are coming up in a few months from now, so he will have domestic political calculations in his mind as well. But one big thing is that just ahead of the beginning of the G7, there is this big announcement that the war is coming to an end. A peace agreement will be signed in Switzerland, in Geneva, on Friday later this week, and there will be a collective sigh of relief when Donald Trump walks in for the dinner for the G7 Leaders Summit later tonight in Evian.
And well, on the sidelines of the G7 summit, the Prime Minister is expected to meet the US President Donald Trump on the 17th of June. And this will be the first meeting between the two leaders since their first interaction that took place after Trump took over, which was in February 2025. A lot has happened since then. The tariff war broke out. Trump endorsed the hellhole comment against India, and the United States also kick-started its war against Iran. 3 sailors have been killed in the US attack just recently along the Gulf of Oman. A multitude of issues remain unresolved between India and the United States, and that's why the world is very closely watching the moment when the two leaders come face to face once again.
All eyes are on the G7 summit, where Prime Minister Narendra Modi and US President Donald Trump are expected to meet for the first time since February 2025. The meeting is likely to provide an opportunity for both leaders to review the trajectory of the India-US ties and discuss key geopolitical developments shaping the Indo-Pacific and beyond. The timing of this meeting is also crucial, as it comes on the backdrop of the tensions in the Middle East and the attacks on tankers carrying Indian seafarers in the Gulf. 3 Indian sailors were killed in these attacks. Officials familiar with the preparations say that the trade and economic cooperation are expected to dominate discussions. New Delhi and Washington have been working to address outstanding tariff issues and expand bilateral commerce with both governments, expressing interest in strengthening economic engagement. Defense cooperation is also expected to be high on the agenda. India and the United States have significantly expanded military ties over the past decade through joint exercises, technology partnerships, and defense procurement agreements. Regional security concerns, including developments in the Indo-Pacific, China's growing strategic footprint, and the ongoing conflicts in Europe and the Middle East, are also likely to feature in the talks. The expected meeting comes as India continues to position itself as a key strategic partner for Western nations while maintaining an independent foreign policy approach. The G7 summit will bring together leaders from the world's major economies to discuss global economic challenges, energy security, emerging technologies, and international security issues. Although India is not a member of the G7, it has been invited as a guest nation, reflecting its growing global influence. Diplomatic observers say a Modi-Trump meeting could set the tone for bilateral engagement in the months ahead and also provide clarity on how the two countries plan to navigate an increasingly complex international landscape. As global challenges continue to mount, the expected Modi-Trump talks on the sidelines of the G7 summit are being closely watched for signals on trade, security cooperation, and the future direction of one of the world's most important strategic partnerships. Your report, Times Now.
And well, with that, it's time for us to slip into a short break here. We'll be right back. Stay with us.